Getting your side project sold seems almost impossible, right? Many people ask for a deep dive into this topic, so I decided to create a complete guide on how to sell your coding side project. In this video, we'll go over the process that allowed me to do just that. We'll be covering ideas, social media, building the product, getting users, and finally, selling your project. Generating an idea is easy. Generating a good idea is pretty hard. Let's go over the things that make a good idea. 1. It must be doable. Don't launch yourself into solving a too difficult problem with a side project. 2. It must excite you. You're going to be working on this for a while without an immediate reward. What kept me pushing forward when I was just starting out with my AI astrology project was that I really wanted to see the idea become a reality. 3. There must be an audience for it. One counterintuitive thing in building something from scratch is that if there is competition for my idea, it means that I have no chance and it's not worth pursuing it. That's false. If there are people already building your idea, and if there is a community using already existing products, it means that your idea is good. In such scenarios, add your own personal touch on the idea, see the existing complaints on the current products, and build from there. 4. You see yourself using it. Let's take my example. I probably won't wanna build a web app for hockey players, because I have no idea what hockey is all about. When I built out my astrology app, I was actually using it with my friends. It was very fun. If you need some inspiration, you can always scroll Product Hunt, Acquire.com, or Twitter. Obviously there is more to it, but this is probably the general outline. The biggest one for me was that I was excited for my idea and I wanted to see it become a reality. This was the primary motivation. And as I said, we're building a side project. You should be having fun and learn something from it. If you're excited for the idea and want to see it become a reality, it's already a good enough reason to pursue it. But if you still want more validation, you could ask potential users about their pain points, what they feel like it's missing in your niche, and generally ask opinions about your ideas. Which brings us to the next step. It's important to know the general profile of the user that is going to be interested in your application. If you're passionate about the niche that you're planning to build in, it's even better. You're already used to the culture and know the ins and outs of it. If you are not such as passionate, you could research the content in that niche. What type of content is being consumed, on which platforms, in which formats, long form, short form videos, blog articles, podcasts, and so on. And what products these people are using. Let's look at an example for my astrology app. I saw that the big majority of the niche spend their time on TikTok. So I chose TikTok as the main social media platform to build an audience on. If you'd like to build a complex blockchain application, you wouldn't go on TikTok. You'll go on Twitter, because that's where the potential users and customers are. Knowing where your potential users are spending their time, it's absolutely crucial. As an example, if I was doing a game review platform, I would be probably focused on YouTube. That's where gamers spend their time looking for that kind of content. Some questions to ask yourself. Do users in your niche spend a lot of money on products? Does the subscription model work on that niche? These are points to think about when you're going to price your product. An MVP is the version of your app that has the bare minimum functionality and can be used. This is not the time to get picky with the details, find the perfect design, or test every edge case. It just has to be pretty and functional enough so people can use it and give you an opinion on it. For me, it was just a simple landing page, authentication, and the first version of my core feature, which at the time had horrible UX, but it was enough to get opinions from friends and relatives about it, which at this stage is all that matters. Very important tip: start search engine optimization early. The earlier you start, the better. Create a blog section, write some articles, index it on Google. Between your social media, you should also consider posting on your blog pretty often. SEO takes time, but having organic traffic on your website just from Google will prove to be very useful later on. If you don't know anything about it now, don't worry. I didn't know either. Hop on a few tutorials and you'll learn enough to get started. As a little disclaimer, a few tutorials won't make you an expert, but it'll give you enough information to start out. Later on, you can improve it. Setting this up right off the bat will save you the regret that I had of, I should have started SEO earlier. Let's start out with what tools I use to create videos on TikTok. It's simple. CapCut for editing, 11 Labs for voicing, and ChatGPT for scripting and brainstorming ideas. I wouldn't let ChatGPT create all of your video scripts because it feels unnatural. But for brainstorming ideas when you're out of inspiration, it's a great tool. Regardless of the platform that you have chosen, don't start out thinking you will go viral in one day or 1 week. You most probably won't. Have patience with yourself and embrace the learning process. Set yourself the rule that I set myself in the beginning as well. Improve with every single video. My first videos on TikTok were just some slideshows with the zodiac sign images and no one looked at it, but it didn't matter. In my first posts, I was there to learn and see what works and what doesn't. It's very important to just post. Yes, even those videos that you think are bad, post them, see how they perform, see what works and what doesn't. Look at other creators, see what people in that niche find enjoyable and analyze it. I can't stress enough how important it was for me setting realistic expectations and just being a pure learner. In this stage, you either learn or win. Bad comments, you shouldn't really care, to be honest. The internet is a big place and people say all kinds of stuff. See what you can take as feedback and apply it. Wondering how I grew to 40,000 followers? Let's see what got me there. So after a few experiments, I finally got my first video with 2,000 views. After seeing this, I thought, well, guess I will just do this kind of videos from now on. I was growing non-stop with this format and I got my first 20,000 views. And then on another video, 100,000 views. And I was like, wow, am I getting big? And then it stopped. Guess what I did? Did I spam the same kind of content on the platform expecting a different result? No, I immediately went back to research. I saw that AI-generated images of zodiac signs in this kind of format
Aquarius is known for their innovative thinking. They have a secret talent for coming
did really well, so I got to work. I think this was the most fun period of my TikTok journey. The AI image generation topic was pretty fresh at that time, and people were really curious of how their zodiac sign will look in a certain situation. As a Greek god, as a career path, and to be honest, I was curious as well. This led me to my most successful video that got over 3 million views. I kinda became an inspiration to other people because I saw others copying my style of video, and I saw people tagging me in similar videos posted by other accounts and asked me if I'm okay with it. To be honest, I was okay with it. It meant that my stuff was working. I was posting 2 TikToks a day. That was the sweet spot for me. The algorithm might have changed since last year, but back then this is what it worked. TikTok is really the kind of platform where you can and should post a lot. Oh, I also tried YouTube Shorts and got like 600 subs from it. Got some decent traffic for my website from there as well. It's important to push to the times of no activity, small number of views and no growth. I really had times where I felt that nothing was working and was very frustrated. But I managed to push myself to do better. Research, apply, get feedback, iterate. It takes time, but it's worth it. Okay, so you build some audience, you are consistent with your posting. How do you get people to access your product? Let me tell you the most common mistake I see. The most common mistake I see is that people are really pushy with their product. By the end of a video that takes around 30 seconds, they will leave a 20 seconds ad at the end of it. It feels pushy, it feels ungenuine, and generally pushing their product way too hard to their audience. You want to make people aware that you have a product, but not force them to do anything. First of all, even in day one, put the link of the thing that you're building in your bio. Don't directly ask for people to join your website at this moment, especially in your first few videos. Why? It's simple. To build trust. Make them aware that you're building something, but don't force them at this stage. An interesting metric that you must analyze is how many people are accessing your website without you doing anything to directly promote it. This will give you an estimated baseline traffic. This is what I did at the beginning. I just had a landing page with coming soon. And I saw that I wasn't getting a lot of traffic from not promoting it, but I was getting some traffic. That gave me a lot of motivation to push forward. Side note, please be mindful of legal matters. Research what is necessary in your country to sell digital products. Have a privacy policy and terms of conditions on your website. Later on, what I personally did is that in 20% of my videos, at the end of it, I was putting a 5-second long reference to my website saying something like, would you like to know even more about your zodiac sign? Visit horoscript.com. Horoscript is the old name. The new owner changed it. If you're watching this, hi. Also, in some of my comments in the videos, I will put something along the lines of visit my link in bio for a free gift. Oh yes, gifts. Let's go to the next step. Give out stuff for free. A trial of your product to your audience. 30 days free, some credits, stuff like that. It will make many people curious about your product. I think this is what drove the most amount of traffic to my website. The more people try your product, the better. You can get very valuable feedback from these people. So, this might be different for everyone. You might not even want to sell your side project. Maybe it's generating you revenue, users, attention, and so on. For me, the reason that I decided to sell it was simple. I hit a point where I felt that I wasn't qualified enough to take it further. I already hit 40,000 followers, 100 users, even got my first sale. But I don't know, something inside me didn't feel ready. I felt that it's time to close this chapter and move on to the next phase of my life. Deep down, I kinda always wanted to be a YouTuber. I felt that this is the next step, but didn't want to pursue it months after finishing my project for classic reasons like, what would people think of me? Why would I make YouTube? What value can I add in this world? And 1 month into this journey, it seemed that you guys actually find value in my stories. It means a lot to me. If my content helps you, I'd really appreciate a subscribe. Sorry, I was getting a little emotional there, but yeah, deciding when to sell really depends on you and your current situation. Make a list of all the emails used, all the accounts associated with the project. Make sure your project is polished and bug-free, and that it has clear documentation. Potential buyers will be more interested in a project that is well executed and functions flawlessly. While preparing your project for acquisition, you should still keep a similar pace of posting on your social media channels. Research similar projects to get an idea of how much you should be asking for a creation. Browse acquire.com. In my example, where I had 100 signups, 1 sale, but a strong social media presence, I asked for low 4 digits. Remember, the listing price is the listing price. Prepare yourself to negotiate, hop on calls, and know your strong points very well. I went through several chats and calls till I found my buyer. It takes time. In the meantime, your project and social media should operate as usual. If you're aware that your project has flaws, be transparent and communicate it early. Don't try to fool anyone. I sold my project on acquire.com. It's the best platform for this kind of transactions. There are other platforms out there, but I didn't research them enough. Well, there you have it, a complete guide on how to sell your coding side project. I'm not a business advisor or anything of the sort. I'm just a guy that managed to sell his little side project and shared his story with you. Your journey will be different, but some things here are applicable to everyone. The video on the left is what YouTube thinks is the most suitable for you to watch at the moment. The one on the right explains how you survive the current job market. Maybe you can learn something interesting from there as well. Cheers!